Welcome to XRP Focus. I hope you're all doing well and having a great day. Before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss important XRP updates. Your support truly helps this channel continue delivering clear and honest insights. XRP holders, attention is critical as Ripple is preparing a major escrow unlock, an event capable of shaping market behavior in significant ways. This release involves billions of XRP tokens, a number large enough to influence both supply and investor psychology. While most of these tokens are expected to be relocked, even a fraction entering exchanges could spark immediate volatility, impacting both short-term trading and market sentiment. Traders and investors are already monitoring wallet activity, on-chain flows, and liquidity trends, trying to predict how the market will react. Historically, escrow unlocks have been key moments, capable of triggering rapid price swings due to shifts in supply perception. Every holder must understand that this is a high-stakes scenario where market dynamics, institutional behavior, and community sentiment converge, creating both risk and opportunity. The key question revolves around how these tokens interact with exchanges and wallets. If a substantial amount is sold into the market, it could apply downward pressure on XRP, leading to temporary corrections. Conversely, tokens that remain locked signal confidence in Ripple's long-term strategy, encouraging accumulation and reinforcing positive sentiment. Social media and discussion forums are flooded with analysis, speculation, and predictions, highlighting the intensity of attention this event is attracting. Analysts point out that the market often reacts not just to the numbers themselves, but also to perceived implications, making sentiment tracking a critical tool for both traders and long-term holders. Institutional investors are closely monitoring the unlock. Hedge funds, crypto-focused investment firms, and financial institutions track liquidity and order books in real time. Their activity can amplify volatility, as large-scale trades can create sudden spikes in price movement. This makes timing crucial, as high trading volumes may emerge within hours of the unlock. Even small movements by major wallets can trigger cascading effects, influencing retail behavior and broader market trends. XRP holders with long-term positions need to be aware of these interactions as they provide insight into both immediate price behavior and broader market confidence. Psychology plays a major role in market outcomes. If the community interprets the unlock as a sign of stability, it could spark buying and accumulation, reinforcing confidence. Conversely, misinterpretation or sudden sales could trigger fear and reactive trading, creating volatility. Technical indicators show that XRP has repeatedly faced resistance near $2, and this unlock could determine whether the token breaks through, consolidates, or pulls back temporarily. For traders, chart analysis and real-time observation are essential, while long-term holders focus on ecosystem signals and Ripple's ongoing strategy. The escrow unlock also highlights Ripple's commitment to predictable and transparent tokenomics. Scheduled and public releases demonstrate responsible planning, but they do not eliminate market sensitivity. Investors must weigh supply dynamics, institutional behavior, and community perception simultaneously. Each of these elements contributes to a dynamic environment where even minor movements can influence broader market trends. For holders, careful observation of wallet flows and exchange activity is critical to understand potential price action in the immediate aftermath. Between institutional monitoring, retail sentiment, and technical resistance levels, the next hours could prove pivotal. XRP holders need to watch closely, track updates, and evaluate how supply interacts with demand. This is not a standard market day. Every move, announcement, and social media discussion could influence price and sentiment in real time. The escrow unlock has the potential to define XRP's trajectory for the near term, creating a high-stakes window for strategic accumulation, informed trading, and observation. Understanding how these factors intersect will be key for anyone invested in XRP, as the market may respond sharply to even subtle signals. In addition to the escrow unlock, the XRP community is intensely focused on upcoming Ripple announcements and ecosystem updates, which are expected to have a profound impact on market sentiment and adoption. Historically, Ripple has used Community Day events and major announcements to reveal technical innovations, strategic partnerships, and adoption metrics, all of which influence both short-term trading and long-term perception. Traders and holders alike are monitoring every tweet, developer update, and press release, trying to anticipate the implications for liquidity, accumulation trends, and price momentum. This is not mere speculation. These events often set the tone for the months ahead, impacting how institutional investors, retail traders, and ecosystem participants position themselves. One of the most highly anticipated aspects is the potential rollout of XRPL upgrades, including smart contract functionality, tokenized assets, DeFi integration, and cross-chain interoperability. These enhancements could significantly expand XRP's utility, moving it beyond cross-border payments and positioning it as a multifunctional financial network. Analysts suggest that such developments would attract both retail and institutional attention, increasing network activity and liquidity. DeFi adoption, in particular, could allow holders to generate yield, participate in lending and borrowing, and engage with tokenized financial products, creating tangible utility that goes beyond speculation. Social media discussions and community forums are already buzzing with predictions and strategies, reflecting the high level of attention that these technical and functional upgrades command. Ripple's roadmap updates are also expected to highlight strategic partnerships with banks, fintech platforms, and payment providers, demonstrating real-world adoption and integration. Each new collaboration reinforces XRP's utility as a settlement and liquidity solution, which can attract additional liquidity and increase confidence among institutional investors. Analysts emphasize that partnerships often serve as a signal of adoption strength, influencing accumulation patterns and helping to stabilize market behavior. The combination of technical upgrades, ecosystem expansion, and strategic partnerships forms a compelling narrative for XRP holders who are watching closely, as these developments can amplify both sentiment and adoption metrics. Market perception is heavily influenced by the interaction between these updates and ongoing supply events. The escrow unlock provides a moment of immediate focus on liquidity and price, while Community Day announcements and roadmap updates create context for the medium and long-term trajectory. Analysts note that investors and traders who understand this interplay are better positioned to anticipate market behavior, whether that involves strategic accumulation, timing trades, or evaluating long-term investment potential. Social sentiment often amplifies these effects, as positive news about adoption or network functionality can trigger increased buying, while uncertainty or lack of clarity can lead to caution and reduced activity. Technical analysis also plays a role in evaluating the implications of Ripple's announcements. Key resistance levels, such as $2 and $250, are being closely watched, as any strong catalyst could push XRP past these thresholds or cause temporary consolidation. Historical patterns suggest that major ecosystem updates often coincide with increased trading volume and short-term volatility, creating both risk and opportunity. For long-term holders, the announcements provide insights into Ripple's strategic vision and the token's functional evolution, offering clues about future adoption potential and utility within financial networks. The XRP ecosystem is experiencing a convergence of multiple catalysts: escrow releases, technical upgrades, adoption announcements, and strategic partnerships. Each element interacts with the others, creating a complex, dynamic environment where market sentiment, accumulation, and trading behavior are interdependent. Understanding these factors is critical for holders who want to make informed decisions, whether the focus is on immediate market reaction or long-term positioning. Analysts suggest that this period is unique, as the convergence of multiple signals could influence both short-term price movements and broader perceptions of XRP's value and utility. Ultimately, upcoming community and ecosystem updates are more than just announcements. They represent a window into Ripple's long-term vision and XRP's potential to evolve into a broader financial infrastructure asset. The combination of adoption, technical innovation, and partnership growth provides concrete reasons for holders to pay attention, stay informed, and evaluate market signals carefully. The weeks ahead could define XRP's trajectory for months, making this period a critical moment for strategic observation, accumulation, and positioning in anticipation of future developments. Beyond escrow events and community announcements, the technical evolution of the XRP ledger is a central factor driving renewed attention and optimism. Ripple has been actively developing upgrades designed to enhance functionality, scalability, and utility across the network. Among the most anticipated improvements are smart contract capabilities, privacy enhancements, cross-chain interoperability, and decentralized finance integration. These changes are significant because they have the potential to transform XRP from a payment-focused token into a multi-purpose financial asset capable of supporting lending, borrowing, yield generation, and tokenized financial products. For holders and traders, these technical developments are not just theoretical. They represent tangible avenues for utility and adoption that can influence both sentiment and market behavior. The introduction of DeFi functionality on XRP is especially exciting for investors seeking yield opportunities. By allowing holders to lend, borrow, and generate interest on their XRP holdings, Ripple could create a network effect that attracts both retail and institutional participants. Analysts suggest that the resulting increase in network activity and liquidity could have a meaningful impact on trading volume and price dynamics. Social media discussions already reflect this enthusiasm, with community members speculating about new protocols, lending strategies, and cross-chain yield opportunities. The ability to use XRP as a functional asset within DeFi ecosystems adds a practical utility that reinforces long-term confidence in the network and encourages accumulation rather than short-term selling. Interoperability improvements also play a crucial role in XRP's future trajectory. By enabling seamless integration with other blockchains, Ripple can expand liquidity, facilitate cross-chain transactions, and attract developers seeking a reliable, scalable, and compliant platform. Analysts argue that interoperability strengthens XRP's position as a foundational infrastructure token, appealing to both traditional financial institutions and innovative blockchain projects. This technical evolution may not create instant price spikes, but it establishes the foundation for sustainable growth, adoption, and ecosystem resilience over the medium and long term. Traders and investors are closely monitoring these developments, as each upgrade has implications for accumulation trends, market sentiment, and price behavior. For instance, the combination of escrow unlocks and new XRPL functionality could encourage holders to retain tokens, reducing selling pressure and stabilizing price action. Conversely, the anticipation of high-profile technical releases often drives speculative activity, increasing short-term volatility while presenting opportunities for strategic trading. Understanding how technical improvements, adoption signals, and market psychology interact is critical for navigating XRP during periods of high attention and market movement. Ripple's commitment to technological innovation also has a psychological impact on the community. Visible progress in upgrading the XRPL signals that the network is actively evolving to meet real-world financial needs, reinforcing confidence among long-term holders. Analysts note that technical progress often acts as a catalyst for both accumulation and sentiment-driven momentum, particularly when combined with high-profile events or announcements. The network's ongoing evolution demonstrates that XRP is not a static asset, but one that is positioning itself as a core component of the broader digital finance ecosystem. Furthermore, the integration of DeFi and smart contract capabilities could position XRP as a platform for institutional-grade financial applications, attracting professional investors seeking yield, network utility, and compliance. The combination of retail enthusiasm and institutional interest creates a feedback loop that could reinforce adoption and liquidity, providing a more resilient foundation for future price movements. Analysts caution that while speculation may drive short-term spikes, the long-term value of XRP will increasingly depend on real-world adoption, technical utility, and network expansion. In conclusion, XRPL upgrades and DeFi integration are central to understanding why XRP is experiencing renewed attention and market focus. These developments provide tangible utility, expand adoption potential, and reinforce long-term confidence in the network. When combined with escrow unlocks and Ripple's strategic announcements, they create a layered set of catalysts that influence both immediate price behavior and long-term positioning. For holders and traders, staying informed about technical progress and potential DeFi applications is essential for navigating this critical period. The ongoing evolution of XRP's ledger positions it as a highly versatile digital asset with the potential for meaningful adoption and strategic growth in the coming months. As XRP evolves through technical upgrades, community announcements, and escrow events, institutional adoption has become a defining factor for its market trajectory. Over the past year, hedge funds, crypto-focused investment firms, and other professional investors have increasingly recognized XRP as a high-utility digital asset with real-world financial applications. A significant driver of this attention is the growth of XRP spot ETFs, which provide regulated exposure, increase liquidity, and attract investors who require compliance and market reliability. Analysts note that institutional inflows often stabilize the market, reducing volatility while reinforcing long-term confidence, as professional participants tend to hold positions longer and adjust carefully based on market conditions. For holders, this trend underscores XRP's growing legitimacy and strategic relevance in global finance. Regulatory clarity further enhances this outlook. Following the SEC settlement, XRP has emerged as one of the few major cryptocurrencies with a relatively predictable legal framework, which appeals to both institutions and risk-conscious retail investors. This certainty encourages larger investment allocations, providing liquidity and reducing the likelihood of panic-driven sell-offs. Analysts highlight that clear regulations, combined with institutional participation, create conditions favorable for long-term accumulation and network growth. Social media sentiment reflects this reality, as discussions increasingly focus on adoption metrics, ETF inflows, and professional interest rather than speculative hype alone. XRP's strategic partnerships with banks, payment platforms, and fintech companies continue to strengthen its real-world utility, reinforcing confidence among institutional and retail holders alike. Each new collaboration expands adoption, increases transaction volumes, and attracts additional liquidity, forming a cycle that supports both network activity and market perception. Traders closely watch these developments, understanding that adoption signals often translate into price stability and momentum. Investors considering long-term strategies focus on the combination of utility, technical upgrades, and regulatory support, which together create a foundation for sustainable growth. While sensational claims of extreme price targets circulate widely, credible analysis places XRP in a more realistic trajectory. Mainstream experts suggest that modest but steady growth driven by adoption, technical utility, and institutional demand is more plausible than astronomical predictions. However, the convergence of multiple catalysts, including escrow releases, community day announcements, XRPL upgrades, and ETF inflows, creates a unique market environment that could trigger heightened price action in the near term. Traders and holders who monitor these factors carefully can better navigate volatility and anticipate accumulation trends, positioning themselves strategically for both immediate opportunities and long-term gains. Analysts emphasize that XRP's outlook is shaped by the interaction of several key elements. Escrow unlocks influence circulating supply, community day updates provide adoption and network signals, XRPL upgrades enhance functionality, and institutional inflows bring credibility and liquidity. Each factor interacts with the others, creating a layered and dynamic market environment. Understanding these relationships is essential for anyone involved with XRP, as it allows for informed decisions based on a combination of technical developments, adoption trends, and investor behavior. The broader implication is that XRP is moving beyond simple speculation. Its combination of institutional recognition, regulatory clarity, technical upgrades, and ecosystem adoption positions it as a versatile and resilient digital asset capable of supporting real-world financial applications. For holders, this period represents a critical window to observe how supply dynamics, technical innovation, and institutional participation interact to shape market trends. Every announcement, transaction, and influx of capital can influence sentiment, accumulation, and short-term price behavior, making attentiveness essential. Ultimately, the convergence of institutional adoption, ETFs, regulatory certainty, technical upgrades, and ecosystem growth forms a powerful framework for XRP's potential trajectory. While extreme price predictions are unlikely under current fundamentals, the combination of these factors provides a realistic and compelling foundation for meaningful market activity and sustained adoption. Holders and traders who monitor developments closely, track technical progress, and understand market signals will be better positioned to navigate the upcoming period, making strategic decisions with insight rather than speculation. The coming weeks and months are likely to define XRP's path, influencing both its short-term market behavior and long-term adoption potential.